What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleeves, and we've got quite a bit of news. ChatGPT is predicting that Shiba Inu can reach 8616 by next year. Bitcoin mining is now becoming unprofitable. Library, LBRY, the crypto that got a penalty from the SEC, has now filed an appeal. They are going to fight, and they're going to use the defense. There's no regulation clarity. Say it like you mean it, please. In the market, and the FBI have met with the Winklevoss twins to talk about DCGs, Barry Silbert. And I, my friends, am absolutely here for that. This is not financial advice, but you know the drill.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Bleeves. This is Breakfast with Bleeves, where we're going to give you all that knowledge that you need to get through and navigate this crypto day. And it's going to be crazy, by the way. It's going to be absolutely out of control. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment on your way out if you would, please, if you happen to stay until the end. If you don't happen to stay until the end, what is wrong with you? Something broke in your brain, not my brain. My brain's fine. Your brain's the one that's broken because you're not watching me until the end. That would be absolutely crazy. Also, 4 days away from the Bleeves token getting ready to launch, the smart contract builder will be launched in 4 days on September 12th. RubyDex, if you were looking for decentralized trading, we now have one NordVPN sign up. So guys, if you can help me in any way, that would certainly help me for this month, because NordVPN is your privacy and security on the internet for your privacy, safety, and security. So if you're not doing that, are you even secure? Do you even lift, bro? Do you? Because I don't think you do. And I would be challenging you to a security off or whatever you would call it. But they're not going to catch me because I also use NordVPN. And if you're doing futures trading, MEXC, Gate.io, Fairdesk. Fairdesk is the one that I'm preferring at the moment. And the reason for that is because I'm doing copy trading on Fairdesk. And because of that, if you follow me and you do copy trading and you fund your account with Fairdesk and you do copy trading along with me, then guess what? When I make money, you make money. And that's the way that it works. And that's the way that it should be. It's what Jesus intended when he wrote, didn't he write the Book of Mormon or something like that? I don't know. He was an author, he worked, it was 2,000 years ago. He was writing with he was like chiseling shit into rocks. You know what I'm talking about. You guys get it. But also, let's get into what is going on here in the markets overall. But first, we had a nice little run on Ben token up to the 31s in the last little while. And then we got this video from BitBoy Crypto, formerly now Ben Armstrong SX. Does that mean sexy? Is that supposed to mean sexy? Because I'm not sure. I don't know what that means. Ben Armstrong's X is where you can find this if you haven't followed it already. Make sure that you do follow. 25,000 followers already in 24 hours. I still only have 12,000 followers. What kind of horse shit is that? Anyway, so As you can see right here, he's having this little conversation, feeling bad about his situation, but says he doesn't feel as bad about his situation because the banks are in worse shape than anybody else, because he walks in there and he just doesn't understand what's going on with the banks. They're having some serious problems at his local bank. And I took a screen grab of this, and I mean, look at this guy out here just talking it up. And do you guys see what he must be watching? Let me zoom in here so you guys can see this, because this is very weird. I did not think, but you know what? Here we are. Do you see it yet? Are you seeing it? What is BitBoy looking at right there? What is BitBoy looking at right there? What is the former, I want to say, BitBoy looking at right there? It's your boy Believes. Was I lifting his car from the front? Was he watching a video of me while he was driving? That shit's illegal, by the way. So we got to have concerns, right? But thank you and shout out to BitBoy Crypto, formerly, now just Ben, not Ben Coin, Ben Armstrong. And thank you so much for checking me out while you're driving. Pretty sure that's a crime, but you do you, boo-boo, as a former crypto influencer would have said. Now, let's move on to the news. ChatGPT predicts Shiba Inu could go beyond 4 zeros, 8616 by next year. That's ChatGPT. And if ChatGPT says it, you know it's liberal, and you know they're always right. So let's watch out. We'll pay attention to that for a while. But the next thing up, Bitcoin mining turning unprofitable. What does that mean? That really, to be fair here, if this were something that would play out, and I'm not saying that it would, but if this were something that would play out, then this would be one of the death knells for Bitcoin. Because if people stop mining Bitcoin, then the end result of this is that we stop producing new Bitcoin, and having everything changes when we're no longer mining. And we have a lot of mining going on right now. So we're going to be watching this one and definitely curious. Now, could be, by the way, when you come over here and look, again, 24-hour volume, not doing very well. So it's conceivable that overall this is just the product of the bear market coupled with the last halving, and we're in the lowest straits. And the problem with that is the consolidation of Bitcoin mining has created these massive companies doing it. And if that's the case, then the likely output of that is that some of those companies will run out of funding and they will go bankrupt, and it will get back to the people. And remember, I told you last night, BlackRock will not control what's going on here. What will be controlled, what will be controlled is Bitcoin by the people, because Bitcoin represents sovereignty, and you can't take that away, or you won't take that away by doing some business with BlackRock. You still own your Bitcoin. You still have your Bitcoin. The only way that you give it up is when you start to sell it to someone in an open exchange like BlackRock or something like that, and only when you're getting enough profit for you to satisfy your needs and requirements. So that drives the price up. And if we continue to do that, and BlackRock has, can you imagine the number of people that BlackRock has put onto the job of just figuring out how to maximize Bitcoin profit, because they want to sell it to millionaires for $1 million a piece. And it's only $30,000 right now. Not even 30,000 at this point, but close to it, 25,000. And they want to sell it for $1 million. They want to sell it to you for an extreme markup, and they want to show you the profit that can be made off of it, which is just absolutely insane at this point. The ideas behind this, and they've got people staring at it. They've got people working on it. They've got people in the background devoted right now to Bitcoin. Just imagine what it looks like at a BlackRock HQ right now. Absolutely crazy, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot going on in the background with BlackRock, and that we should all be not necessarily concerned, because BlackRock can only do what BlackRock can do, and they can buy a significant supply, but they can't buy everything, and they can't control everything. It's just not going to be possible, not in this environment. They don't have the money to do what we're talking about and what would be necessary. So I'm not really worried about BlackRock. I think that they're great for price action. Obviously, we don't want them to have too much of it, but the free market will always win. That's the way that it's going to be. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think that BlackRock is good or bad for cryptocurrency? What is your opinion? Type it in the chat right now. Let me hear you. What do you think? Is BlackRock good or are they bad for crypto overall? And Louisville won 56-0 for anybody who's keeping score. Last night beat Murray State Racers 56-0. Boom shakalaka. Let's get in chat right now. And good morning to Maddie B in the house. Richard Caldwell's in the house. Operation D is here. Richard Nelson, Grant Vorchuk. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button coming in and subscribe to the channel if you have not. That certainly helps me. Also, J. Manuel in the house. Jeff T. Osiris SGC is in the house. First YouTube jail, then take his cat. That goddamn cat. I tell you what, that cat. Ugh. Carlos in the house. What is going on? CEO 100. Nothing better than whiskey and coffee. And you're supposed to say whiskey. You have to say it that way if you're from the South. Ben Fair is in the house. Forsaken, good morning. Diggy's in the house. What's going on? Houston, we have a problem. You put too few O's in good morning. We got G Money in the house. Joni Metcalf is here. Wagmeing it up. Mike Volmer in the house. Mark Kelly. U.S. government desperately trying to keep their dollar as world reserve currency. Crypto is a threat. And by the way, for those of you who are Donald Trump supporters, please remember, Donald Trump is a dollar maxi. He does believe in the value of that dollar. He has not swayed in his opinion. So when it comes time to vote, we're going to need some clarity from him before you throw your vote to anybody. And you know what? If crypto's not important to you, that's okay. You do you. But if you care about crypto, then you should be going pro-crypto. And by the way, the fact that Donald Trump has a wallet doesn't mean he's pro-crypto. It means he's pro-money, right? And crypto doesn't represent necessarily money. It represents freedom and sovereignty. And we need some clarity from him on how supportive he would be of that digital currency. Would he be opposed to CBDC? How does he feel about everything that's going on? We should probably get some clarity from him. And I think that we will at some point. In fact, I do believe that we might even see him on Joe Rogan coming up pretty soon. Warband Gamer says, go Lions. Miles Maddox believes in the morning. Yes, sir. Brandon M in the house. Good morning. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is pro-crypto, so that is a pro-crypto person. I'm not a fan of Bobby Kennedy, by the way, as a pro-crypto person. He is a pro-Bitcoin person. Ron DeSantis, Mary Ann Williamson are the only two pro-crypto, specifically pro-crypto. Vivek is Ramaswamy is pro-Bitcoin. And Kennedy is pro-Bitcoin so far, but that's not the broader crypto market. So I do have concerns about them. Like, for example, what happens to the rest of the market if they are in office? So I don't have concerns with Marianne Williamson. I don't have concerns with Ron DeSantis in that regard. If I do have concerns about either one of them as clients, it's for as candidates, it's for entirely different reasons. But this is about cryptocurrency for me. Donald Trump so far has not made a stand. He did sell some NFTs, but again, that's transactional. And as we saw in 2016, and he said to Hillary Clinton, I'm just using the system the way the system is designed. If you want the system to be different, change it. So that doesn't make him pro-crypto. We need some clarity from him on that. Daniel Volt in the house says, good morning. One possible felon and one MNA wandering around brain dead. That is the yes, that is the option right now. Potential felon and a dead man walking. I vote with who puts money in my pocket. Can't understand people who vote on emotion and what CNN tells them. I don't know what CNN is. Oh, the channel. I got you. Yeah, nobody cares about that. Nobody watches the news anymore. Everybody. And by the way, a lot of people are being swayed in different directions. Again, I don't care because none of that shit matters to me. They're all crooks. And if anybody thinks that Donald Trump is the honest guy, Donald Trump is a crook just like everybody else. He's just a different type of crook. They're all crooks. We're not going to get an honest person in the office. The best thing that we can hope for is that we start to overthrow the people who are in the Senate, start to overthrow the people who are in the House of Representatives, get the old money out and bring in new people who are not already corrupted and have spent years being corrupted. Get new people in there. That's the only way that this survives, because to be fair, it doesn't even matter who the president is. President is just a figurehead at this point. Makes some moves, but generally speaking, look, you gotta take like your like lenses off and just let's put it this way. People say stuff like, well, the gas prices are up because of Joe Biden, or they say, well, gas prices was lower under Donald D. Trump, didn't it? Or whatever the fuck you say. Neither one of those matter because neither president has anything to do with oil or by proxy gas prices, right? Because it's not a real thing. That's just something because you like somebody on your team and you're like, well, my quarterback is better than your quarterback. My quarterback is Peyton Manning and he had more MVPs than your quarterback, Tom Brady. And then people that are Tom Brady are like, man, we don't have any. We've got 7 Super Bowls. It's just stupid, right? Doesn't matter. Everybody's just arguing about shit that doesn't make any sense. And the only way you throw out and like, pedophile, and then you get everybody triggered because you can't help yourself, and everybody loves kids, but not in the same way that an Epstein would. But yeah, you get my point. It's just ridiculous. They're all crooks. They're all cheaters. They're all liars. Don't fall for all of their bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Grow up. You know what I mean? Be a dope man. Be a dope man for president. Snoop, where you at, man? Snoop, where you at? Jesus Christ. He'll be legalizing it day one and taxing the shit out of it, and boom, problem solved. And he'd be too high to drop a bomb. You know what I mean? Just too high to drop a bomb. Woo! Here we go. That is incorrect, Blaze. Policies have a strong sway in gas and oil prices. So, if that's the case, Michael, then we produce more oil right now than we did from 2016 to 2020 by far. 25% more oil is being produced right now than it was in the year 2020 and 2019 for that matter. But the gas prices are up. So go ahead. Tell me how the policies changed it. And I know what you're going to say. Well, that Canadian company had some stuff in a pipeline and they're trying to get it to Texas. They can get it anywhere. It doesn't really matter. It's not changing the prices. And if it changes the prices, any analysis will tell you it's 1 cent or 2 cents. It's really not a thing. This is just one of those things that we lean into, and it's stupid because it doesn't really mean anything. Are there regulations that make things more difficult? Yes. What's the alternative? Go to West Virginia and light the river on fire. And you can do that. You know why? Because it's poisoned because of oil companies. So there are necessary regulations that do happen. But guess what? Again, another penny on your gas price. No, that doesn't explain it. What explains it is that over the years, there used to be 217 oil refineries. Now there's 100. There used to be 217 oil refineries around this country. Now there are 100, and some of them have been shuttered. There used to be 107. In 2017, there were 107. So in the last 7 years, 7 more have been shut down. Why? Because they're expensive to maintain, and they can just consolidate and raise the price. And if you don't believe me, go check the profits of the oil companies. You don't even have to do math very goodly on that to answer your own question. Go look at corporate profits. We were talking about this, and we've been talking about this for months. Go look. Record profits everywhere. Why? Because prices are up. But wait, it's more difficult to get stuff. That means everything's a little bit more expensive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. No, it's because they're profiting off of your pain. And it doesn't matter who's in charge. They're profiting off of your pain. It's the way it has been. It's the way it will be. And until we take control and make serious changes, it's going to continue to be that way. Now, let's move back on to Bitcoin mining being unprofitable. And we're going to move on from that. LBRY has filed a notice of appeal against the SEC. The SEC first sued LBRY in March of 2021, claiming that its LBRY credit token was sold as a security under the 1933 Securities Act. In January, LBRY founder and CEO Jeremy Kauffman told Cointelegraph that as a company is almost certainly dead. However, their most recent move seems to be a possible change in course. It comes amid a number of high-profile crypto industry victories against the federal regulator. Everybody's winning. Ripple, Grayscale. There's not clarity in the market. And since there's not clarity in the market, how can they prove that this is the case? And remember, LBRY settled. So now they're saying, you know what? Nah, we're not doing that. So next up, FBI agents have discussed DCG. That's the Digital Currency Group. They own CoinDesk, by the way. They create their own news. They are a news organization that just kind of makes shit up as they go. And Barry Silbert is being investigated, which is awesome. Like, that is amazing. I can't stand that guy. That's the guy, by the way, from Genesis, that filed bankruptcy just recently. Bitcoin on the brink as death cross looms. Do I care about this? Nope. I don't care about the death cross because we've hit death crosses and stuff like that before and nothing happened. So not really worried about it. It doesn't have a big in the market. So Shiba Inu up 500% in whale transaction. What's happening? Transactions means good and means bad. This is not an accumulation number. So I want you guys to understand that is that there's a lot going on in the Shib universe, and that ties into this right here. According to data from DeFi Llama, the total value locked on Shibarium recently hit 847,000, but a week ago it was 1.47 million. So it's gone down 600,000 in the last 8 days. So the whales are moving stuff around, and what are they doing? They're figuring out that the burns that they were alleged to see just are not happening right now. I told you last night that I was told that 9 billion tokens had been burned from Shibarium. That's not true. That's not even close. As a matter of fact, I wanted to go back and I wanted to figure out exactly where that came from. So I started looking it up, and Zach Humphreys is the guy that said that, right? So I go back here and I said, where is this? There's got to be some kind of thing right here, right? And he's posting. Total value locked, blah, 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 Shib. 9 billion Shib have been burned since the launch of Shibarium. How much Shib should Shibarium be burning on every transaction? He's asking the question for engagement. 9 billion Shib, that sounds like a lot of Shib, so I got to go check this out. Now, where do I find that out? Well, I would find that out from ShibBurn because ShibBurn does the burning, right? Only 41 million had been burned until these two transactions 40 minutes ago. And by the way, you can see the burn rate is up 65% to 66 million. It would take 15 days, 16 days. It would take 16 days to burn 1 billion at this rate, up 65%. So 16 days to burn 1 billion. Shibarium has only been up for like 2 weeks right now, so 14 days. So it's impossible for it to have burned 9 billion or so, I would think, because if the burns are being tracked right here and they're fine, then they're fine, right? So let's go and again take it a step further. We're going to remove ShibBurn. We're going to look at Shibarium, by the way, 88,000 transactions, 1.19 million wallet. Seems to have kind of stabilized at that point, but come down here just a little bit and you will see that there is a comment right here. And one of the comments on ShibBurn gives you access to Shibarium. This page is available, and this is an estimate. This is not real. This is an estimate. Okay, based on the estimate, 300 bone have been accumulated for burns. 70% of which are going to go to buyback and the burning of shit, right? So if you look at this, that's ridiculous, right? None of this is going to be accurate. None of this is going to. That is not 9 billion, right? Now, This is the first of the demos, and there's a second demo over here, which also gives you another valuation and a potential over here, giving you an idea. And it tells you that you need 399 trillion transactions to burn $25,000 in SHIB tokens. And 25,000 25,000 1 2 3 4 5 70, let's just call it 77. That's 3.2 billion tokens. So none of this is true. None of this is true. So there's not 9 billion tokens being burned. None of this shit makes any sense. None of this actually adds up. So what you're seeing right now is people getting out of SHIB for right now, moving their money around, making different decisions because what they thought was going to happen is not happening. Now, am I outraged about that? No, because we're in a bear market. So why would it matter if it does 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in the bull market? If we start to see a lot of transactions, if we see the buildup of the entire ecosystem, and we get to, instead of 88,000 transactions, 800,000 transactions, then it congests the network. It becomes more expensive to trade on the network, and then more and more and more get burned. So we're all good. It's a longer term process. Everybody got that speculative bump. We all got that nice little bounce over here. We all made a significant amount of money off of it. Now it's just time to wait it out and see what happens going forward. Now, traders should brace for decisive move as Bitcoin undergoes savvy accumulation phase, according to the Glassnode founder. By the way, I've read Jan Happel, Jan, and Jan Allerman. I think they're both Jan and Jan, by the way. They are talking about how Bitcoin price resurgence, equilibrium, blah, 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 rejection at 25,000. Neither bulls nor bears show dominance, a battle at play. So it's an accumulation period, but the accumulation period, I mean, I got to be honest with you guys. If you look at it and you're watching this and you're paying attention to it, like the accumulation is to the downside right now. So that accumulation, even though they're kind of insinuating there's going to be a big move, I think the big move is, there we go. So the downside, 23,008 to 24,008. That's what I'm looking for right now. Now, they are thinking that there's going to be a massive breakout, but I disagree. I think we're headed back down. Matter of fact, when I watched last night, checked out Frankie Candles because I was wondering, like, what's he thinking about it? Because I like his opinion, right? And then here's what I saw. This is what I saw when I went to Frankie Candles. He's on a daily chart right here, and you know what he's doing? He's got everything drawn out like this, right? None of this. He's got everything drawn out like this, and he's looking at this big green candle, and he's showing a pump, and he's like, so we called it, and we told you guys it was going to pump. No, you didn't. We always say that there's a possibility, right? Like I'm telling you guys, sometimes there's going to be a possibility that something's going to pump or something like that, right? Well, what happened was, and I told you guys that most likely what we're doing is we're heading downwards, and we're heading downwards because all of the indicators tell me that 24.5 is going to be in play. And when I look at the weekly chart, then it looks like 22.7, 22.8 right here in this range is also in play. This is a long-term predictive trend, right? This long-term predictive trend tells me that 22,000 is in play and 40,000 is in play, and that the point of control right now is at 31,000. That's on a weekly. So when I look at all this stuff, anyway, so back to it, he's looking at this big green candle, and he's talking about it in a pre-recorded video. And I'm like, okay, so he's got blah, 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 blah. He's talking about, we could have this massive bounce and blah, 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 blah. And then he actually comes to the chart after telling you, well, we could have this massive move up to 30,000. And there's a giant green candle over here. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy saw a giant green candle and just said, well, here we go. Like, come on now. Anyway, so then he says that we can move up here and we can start testing 29, maybe even 30,000 in this local area over here. No, disagree. If anything were to happen right now, and by the way, here's what he's looking at. He's looking at a point of control right now, which is showing up on the charts, saying that we could have that move to that level. This is most likely a breakdown of this level coming back into this previous level. So point of control is most probably going to end up being about 24,500 before long, because the market does not support the amount needed in order to make a run. So Bitcoin, in my estimation, is coming down. We're going to experience it down here. We're going to see it coming down just a little bit more. And we're not going to see a relief rally to 30,000. I mean, it's always possible. It is always possible. So I will grant that. But this level of resistance, this level of support that we had going forward here, and per part of this broke down, and now we're under it. So if we do anything, it's going to reject right at that 30,000 level, because that's the spot right there, and it could come down. But I don't think it's going to make that move. I don't think it's coming down. I think that this accumulation is just for the leg down. And then once we get to this, we're going to accumulate for a period of time, maybe start to continue down a little bit further, possibly hitting this 22,000 range right in here. And then we'll start to move, because that would take us into 2024. So that's what it looks like. That's what it seems to be. I'm shorting on the market right now. It doesn't mean that we're not going to get a pump. Doesn't mean we're not going to get a pop to the upside. It just means that it looks to me like the market should be coming down. It just doesn't look like there's any reason to consider that it's going to stay up. And if you're doing some shorting, if you're doing some trading, then make sure that you are doing it with MEXC up here. Make sure Gate.io, Fairdesk. If you want me to do the trading for you, then go to Fairdesk and sign up and just fund your account, follow Believes Crypto, and do what I do. And maybe something's going to work out for you. I got an Ethereum short right now, and it's back down to 1630. I bought it at 1660, so it's already making hundreds of dollars. So it's we're already in a good position. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think that we're coming down before we go up. I don't think that $30,000 upward move that Frankie's talking about is going to play out. Now, I am just staring at a chart trying to figure it out for myself. I should point out that we did get a few nice green bull signals down here at the bottom in our accumulation. So it's possible that I'm going to be like, I was wrong. But we also had a bullish divergence here. Bullish divergence did not play out as beautiful as you would want it to. So, we had a bullish divergence over here, didn't do anything. So, we're watching these charts and we're all just kind of looking for these big moves to happen. And we're just not seeing those big moves happen, which means that every time we get a pump, it's followed immediately by a dump. That means that there are no bulls in this market that are going to push this up for very long. We're not looking at long-term hodlers. We're looking at transactional money. This right here, Grayscale won their lawsuit against the SEC. One of the biggest bullish indicators you've ever seen. Within 48 hours, the price was lower than when we started. So just consider that for a second. And one of the other things was that the Bitcoin ETFs were kicked down the road, but we already expected that to happen. So we consider that to be a thing, but it's not really. It's not really. So that's what's going on in these markets. Now, come over here and look at the Uniswap market, and you can see Ben 2864 now starting that precipitous sort of decline that you're going to see. And look, like I said before, if you get a lot of wicking up at the top, then you're probably looking at a big come down. And what we're looking at right now is that big come down. We got that big wick over here, big wick over here. Now it's coming down. Do we bounce at this 28 level, or does it continue to break through? And do we find new bottoms? People are going to get a little bit tired of waiting to see what's going to happen next. And this is the first real breakdown that we're having. And the question is, does it do like it did here and turn around and send us to newer highs? Well, guys, you've heard me over and over again saying I don't think that that's in the cards right now. Doesn't mean that it can't, but it does mean that if it does, then we're looking at 37.20, and then we're looking to move to 42.70, about 4,300 basically. So there are moves that are in play. There are moves that are potential, but you need new investors, or you need new eyes. You need people looking at it. And in order to get there, you got to have something going on. You got to have a catalyst. And so far, Ben saying stuff about, what do you call it? Ben saying something about banks, that's not a bullish indicator. We had some bullish indicators because of the meeting that they had in Telegram the other day, but that AMA. But I mean, that's not long-term sustained anything. Like, we need some news that would cause a pump. We don't have any news that's going to cause a pump. We have in 10 days, the liquidity unlocks, and we're going to have the V2 start. So that part is going to be pretty cool. But until we get there, just have a little FOMO build up to maybe give yourself a little opportunity, right? And MEXC likes to change me entry price and liquidate me miles. So what you've got to do is you can't use market, and you can't force the buy, because what's happening for you if that happens. And by the way, for anybody who's trading futures and getting into that situation with like an MEXC, or anybody for that matter, because it works the same way, it's because you're forcing the price action. So if you go to MEXC, and I'm going to use MEXC because it's right above my head. If I'm going to make a buy order, and I'm going to do a buy order on, let's say, Bitcoin right now at 25,906, I can fill that entire order at market price. Okay. And I would click over here, and we're going to zoom in just a little bit here for you guys so you can see that. But we can click on market price right here. And that means that it will fill at whatever somebody is willing to accept. And here's the book. This is the order book, and it will kind of give you an indication of where you are. And generally speaking, it's going to be in this range. But if you're buying a lot and there's only a little available, then you might have to go up or down a few price points in order to make that, depending on which way you're going. So if you come over here and you do a limit order, then it's at 25,898.7. So if it comes down to this price, that's when my order is going to be filled. Now, there may not be enough tokens, or there may not be enough coins to fill my order at that price. It might have to come down a little bit more, or again, it might have to go up a little bit more. So when you're doing that, always make sure, and to be fair, I can't tell you how many times I've set an order, like for example, on Ben. As a matter of fact, we will use Ben on this one. And by the way, Ben is 1,000 Ben USDT on here, and the price action does not move very much. So let's say I want to set a buy order right now, and I want to do it at 290, right? So I'm going to set 290 as my buy order right here, and I'm going to pop that in right here. Now it drops to 290. Here is the real-time fair price. When you come down to your buys, you're going to see there's a real-time fair price, and there's an actual price, right? So if you buy at 290, your order is not getting filled right now. And the reason it's not getting filled is because while the real-time price is 290, the actual price is 292. So it's waiting for it to come down so that both of those are under 290. Now, if you go to market over here and you make a buy right now, it's going to fill your order based on this order book. So it is possible that you've got a lot of buyers here, right, at 291. Well, if you're trying to buy at 290 right now, there are 35 million tokens being waiting to be bought right now at this position at 290. And you just saw it come down to 291, but there's 35 million getting ready to be bought. So let's say you're buying 50 million tokens. Well, your 50 million tokens are not here. It's not until you get up to 298 that you've got enough tokens. Well, actually it'd be 297. So you're going to be buying all of these tokens through here in order to fill your big buy at that point. So that's why it's important to set a limit order and then just let it slowly but surely fill. That's what you're looking to do. And that's why your price action is always off. And then if you come down here and you hit flash close, it's going to be at the same thing. It's going to be at that same price. It's going to be the best possible price for your buy or your sell. If you do a flash close, what you should always do is go into your TP, set up exactly where you want to take your profit. Like for example, on my Bitcoin, I've got it set at 24,880 right now. So when it hits 24,880, it'll fill my order and we'll be good to go. I may, by the way, take it down to 22,000, but what I was really looking to do is get to 24,880, make an accumulation, and then start to bounce from there. So that's what I was looking to do. Again, if you haven't already, sign up for MEXC, sign up for Gate.io, sign up for Fairdesk. Let's get to some futures trading. Again, it's $100 to fund your account. And by the way, if you sign up, you get bonuses for all of this. There's a matter of fact, I think MEXC, if you put $1,000 or you put $10,000 in, I think they give you $1,000 in futures money. And you can't cash out the $1,000. You only cash out what you win off of that, because they give you like an extra $1,000 for you to trade futures. So if you make a deposit and the deposit isn't up, they're going to give you $1,000, and you can come over here with your $1,000 and you can take 10 longs or shorts. Just decide what you want to do with the market based on what you see, and then you can just start to make your plays and figure it out. But that's why. It's just a complicated process that you have to pay attention to. And it took me a while to learn that, because I made a couple of great deals and I thought I made a big bag off of some of this, and it ended up not being that much, because I was like, what? God damn it. You know what I mean? So yeah, super annoying, but that is the way that the market works, and that is how it goes. So anyway, Frankie Candles, wrong. The come down here, back to where we started, because again, when you pump, you're going to dump, because that's the market. And as you can see, it's starting to weigh down. It's starting to, the market is becoming bearish, and every day we're going to probably dump down to this point of control right here. This is 24,000. Again, this is 24,500. So I think we're coming down at least to this level, most likely into the 22 and 23 range. So, but it's time for me to go. I got to get out of here. So I know I might have missed some of them. Wag me down 16% on the day, 1803. Massive dump in the last couple of hours. Why? Because that's what these hoes ain't loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. You got to know that. So a lot of sell-off happening over here, because people are, you know, they're buying down here. They're selling up here. That's just who they are. It's just what they do. Dubai X is down 1096 since Don Strickland, my man Don, became an ambassador for Dubai. I've not applied because I'm not, you know, like I got shit to do. Working for free, I already do that enough. I don't need to do that anymore. But Ben Advantis, we're gonna get Advantis on here pretty soon to do that. 100x gems trading at 37.45. A lot of stuff going on. We won't get a chance to talk about everything, but this is not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much. I'm gonna give you a spooky, scary, super spooky, scary outro, and then after I do that, if you would leave a comment on the video, because that helps it trend a little bit later on, and then I gotta go. So I will scare you now and see you later.
It's been a long day, I mean a long week, maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good food, ladies, go in there.